Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Mangesh Doshi, Assistant Professor working in PG Department of Chemistry, KAA NMS Arts, Science and Commerce College, Saturn. Friends, in last video we saw amino acids, their properties, chemical as well as physical properties. In this video we are going to learn peptides and proteins. So friends, what are peptides and what are the polypeptides? So Emil Fischer proposed that the proteins are long chain amino acids joined by the peptide bond. But what is the peptide bond? The special name given to the amide bond between alpha carboxyl group of one amino acid and the alpha amino group of another. See, this is the alanine. This is the C-terminal carboxylic acid group. This is N-terminal amino group. This is phenylalanine, second amino acid. Again, this is N-terminal amino group, carboxylic acid group. There is a condensation reaction of one carboxylic acid group of one amino acid and the amino group of the second amino acid gives amide bond. If this amide bond is present into a proteins or various amino acid linkage, then this amide bond is called as peptide bond. Now this peptide bond joined two amino acids to each other. That's why this peptide bond is called as dipeptide. First one is alanine, second one is phenylalanine. So peptides, the name given to short polymer of amino acids joined by the peptide bond. They are classified by the number of amino acids in the chain. For example, which are the peptides? First one is dipeptide. A molecule containing two amino acids. The molecule containing two amino acids joined by the peptide bond, that is called as dipeptide. In similar manner, the molecules containing three amino acids joined by the peptide bond, that peptides are called as tripeptide. In this way, a macromolecule containing many amino acids joined by the peptide bonds, those peptides are called as polypeptide. Proteins. Proteins, a biological micromolecule of molecular weight around 5000 gram per mole or greater, consisting of two or more polypeptide chains, those are called as proteins. So proteins are the polypeptides. It may contain one or more polypeptide chains. Now we will learn in more details about peptides. Peptide chains are the amino acid polymers containing 2 to 50 amino acid units. Peptides with more than 50 units are called as proteins. By convention, peptide structure are written in the N-terminal amino acid to the left and C-terminal amino acid on the right hand side. So see here, this is the N-terminal towards the left hand side and this is the C-terminal towards the right hand side. So this is the convention to write the peptides. It is possible to synthesize peptides as well as proteins into the laboratory, but it requires a lot of skill and techniques. Let's consider the synthesis of dipeptide like alanine and phenylalanine. For the same, we have to mix these two amino acids. So there are four possible ways they will react with each other. For example, alanine, C-terminal, that is carboxylic acid of alanine, may react with the amine, N-terminal of the second molecule of alanine. So we will get alanine dipeptide. It may be possible that C-terminal of phenylalanine may react with the N-terminal of phenylalanine. So we will get dipeptide, that is phenylalanine and phenylalanine. Third possibility is there, if C-terminal of phenylalanine is reacted with the N-terminal of the aniline. So we will get phenylalanine and alanine. Next possibility is that the C terminal of the alanine is reacted with the N terminal of phenylalanine. So we will get the dipeptide like alanine and phenylalanine. So there are 4 possibilities in only combination of 2 amino acids. So think, if you want to combine 20 amino acids to form a desired protein. So friends, the above mentioned problem can be solved by the process of protection of one functional group, that is not allowed to react, and activation of the another functional group made more reactive, then unwanted condensations can be prevented. Let us see how it done in the synthesis of alanine and phenylalanine dipeptide. So we want here C terminal of the alanine is reacted with the N terminal of the phenylalanine, so that we have to block the N terminal of the alanine, so that it won't react to, it cannot be reacted to the phenylalanine. So this is the protecting group, that is benzoxycarbonyl chloride, in short that is called as BOC. That is the specific protecting group for the NH2 group. This BOC is allowed to react with the aniline. So what will happen? This NH2 group will react with this carbonyl, Cl minus will leave, and here we will get N-BOC alanine, amine protected alanine. Second step is the activation of C terminal of the alanine. Now this N terminal is blocked. We have to make this COOH group is more reactive than another amino acid. So we have to react it with either PCl5 or SOCl2, so that this carboxylic acid group is converted to carbonyl chloride group, that is more reactive functional group. In this way, one functional group is protected, not allowed to react, while second functional group of the alanine is made more reactive, so react will be fast. So protection of the COH group. Now we have to protect the COH group of the phenylalanine, so it should not react with the alanine. So in this way, this is phenylalanine. Now we have to kept this reactive, while the reaction of this carboxylic group we have to prevent, so that it allowed to react with any alcohol. So acid plus alcohol, you will get the ester, that is protected, of protection of the carboxylic acid function. Now in this way we have 2 compounds. One is alanine, where N terminal is protected while C terminal is activated, and we have phenylalanine, N terminal is open while C terminal is protected. Now first step is condensation of this 1 and 2. So this is one, N-BOC alanine and carbonyl chloride, and this is second one, carboxylic acid protected phenylalanine. They will react with each other and form this amide bond, that is called as peptide bond. Next step is deprotection of the protective function. Now we have to deprotect this BOC as well as this ester. Go for the reduction reactions. This amine will get deprotected while this carboxylic acid also deprotected. In the synthesis of polypeptide, we need to deprotect either N terminal or either C terminal, where we have to join a new amino acid. Depending upon that, we have to selectively deprotect either N terminal or either C terminal. In this way we can get a polypeptide. Now here we get a dipeptide, alanine and phenylalanine specifically. Now we will see the structure of proteins. Why structure of proteins is very important. It is very important to know the complete structure of the protein, as the proteins, as the biological function of the proteins is mainly controlled by the structure. Therefore, number of factors which ultimately control the final structure of the proteins molecules are considered first. Now Linus Pauling and Robert Corey studied the extracrystallography of the proteins and found various factors which ultimately decides the structure of proteins. So according to him, this lone pair is conjugation with the carbonyl group. So this lone pair coming inside this double bond may get break, and there will be the negative and positive charge. Because of this resonance, carbon and nitrogen bond loses its single bond character and gets a double bond character. There is a considerable C and double bond character. So rotation of the C and double bond will be difficult because pi bond is not allowed to rotate. So C N bond has a double bond character that gives rigidity to the structure. This is the peptide, that is amide bond. So these amide bonds are planar because carbon nitrogen has a double bond character. So these are the planar. Amide bonds are planar. So these are the amides bond. You can say peptide bonds are planar. So rotation is not possible. There are two another bonds. One is C alpha N bond, that is a single bond, that is called as phi. Rotation is possible. Another is C alpha and carbonyl group, that is psi bond, that is also possible. So angle of these rotations and the planar structure of this amide bond decides the structure of the protein and polypeptide molecules. Mostly the protein function depends upon the structure of the proteins. That structure of the proteins depends upon the R groups of the amino acids, the structure of the amino acids, as well as the angles of C alpha N, that is phi bonds, as well as C alpha C, that is psi bonds, coiled to give the protein structure in a right-handed alpha helix structure. So because of rotation of these bonds, polypeptide becomes alpha helical structure, that is right-handed structure. Each helical pitch is about 5.4 angstrom unit length, and each helical contains around 3.6 amino acid per turn of the chain. This alpha helix is stabilized by the hydrogen bond between NH of the one amino acid and CO of the fourth amino acid. Nature of the R group is also matters in the structure determination as well as alpha helical stability. That plays an important role. If R group is small, non-polar or maybe polar and uncharged, that favors the alpha helical structure. While bulkier, charged or the amino acids contains cyclic nitrogen, that is secondary nitrogen, for example proline, that destabilizes the alpha helix structure. We will see the structures of the proteins. There are mainly primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary types of structures. We will see first primary structure of the protein. Primary structure of the proteins is very simple. That is a long polypeptide chain. In this polypeptide chain, amino acids are attached to each other by the peptide bonds. There is one C terminal and one amine terminal, that is N terminal. So this is the linear sequence of the amino acids. Complete sequence or covalent bonds in various amino acids. This is complete sequence. It's a primary structure, linear fashion. Linear polypeptide linkage. If the sequence of amino acid is changed, the protein and their function is also changed. So this particular amino acid, the sequence of the amino acids is same. In a particular protein, sequence of the amino acids is same. If that amino acid sequence changes, that protein also changes and their property also changes. DNA, the generic material in the cell, can synthesize precisely the same protein as many times as required by using the coded language. DNA is a D-ribonucleic acid. It generates the protein sequence by coded language. This is the secondary structure. Secondary structure depends upon the hydrogen bonding. So between the hydrogen bonding between the amino acid causes the polypeptide to form either alpha helix or either beta pleated sheets. So alpha helix means the long primary amine structure, its coil becomes alpha helix structure, and that is stabilized by these hydrogen bondings in between the two amino acids of the same chain. While here hydrogen bonding in beta plated sheets, two chain of the polypeptides comes together with the hydrogen bonding and forms a beta pleated structure. So in the second structure, one is alpha helix and second one is beta beta-pleated structure. The hydrogen bond is main cause for this two structure. That is called as secondary structure of the proteins. This is the alpha helix, how it looks like in crystallography as well as electron microscope. And this is the beta sheets, two polypeptide chains attached with each other in a plate shape because of this hydrogen bond. So these are interchain hydrogen bonds. Now we will see the tertiary structure. So these alpha helical chains as well as that beta plates folded and bent at number of points to produce the complex structure to proteins. That complex structure of the proteins is called as tertiary structure of the proteins. So in this case, alpha helical structures as well as beta plated plates becomes folded and bends. It's because of what? There are some factors which allow to bend or fold these alpha helical chains and beta plated structures. So what are those factors? First one is hydrogen bonding. So some polar R group and polar R group, they form the hydrogen bond and bend will be possible. Then cysteine, two cysteines combines with each other and form the disulfide bond. Some hydrophobic interactions. If non-polar R groups are there, there will be the hydrophobic interactions. Some are electrostatic interactions, means one is negative charge, one is positive charge. There will be some electrostatic interactions and hydrophilic interactions with the solution, water solution. Some polar groups are there, they form the hydrogen bond. So because of that one, alpha helical structure and beta plated structures folded and bends, and it gives a complexity to the structure that is called as tertiary structure of the protein. Now, this is the structure. See, this is a primary structure of the proteins. It forms either beta plated structure or alpha helical structure, but sometimes it becomes folded is because of this ionic bond, electrostatic attractions. Sometimes system of this cysteine and this cysteine form the disulfide bridge. Sometimes there will be a hydrogen bonding, one polar group forms a hydrogen bonding with another polar group. Some are hydrophobic interactions, both are R groups, hydrophobic groups, so they repel each other. So there will be the folding of the structure. So this is how the proteins of all its region of secondary structure, alpha helix and beta sheets, are folded all over upon itself. Our next structure is quaternary structure of the proteins. So protein subunits aggregates into larger functional unit. This level occurs when two or more polypeptides join to form a single protein unit. So in a single protein unit, it may possible that it contains more than 2 polypeptide chains. So this is the structure of hemoglobin. So hemoglobin has 2 alpha and 2 beta subunits that fits together to form a whole hemoglobin molecule with 4 hemes. These are the 4 hemes. 2 alpha and 2 beta subunits are there, and their associated iron atom to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. So this is the structure, quaternary structure of the proteins. This particular structure of the hemoglobin. It contains 2 alpha and 2 beta subunits, 4 subunits, 4 polypeptide chains. Friends, thank you for the watching. Thank you. If you like this video, like, share and subscribe. Thank you once again.